Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're having a good day, good Monday. I'm just going to share this, so just give me a second to set that up. I'm officially into the second week of my off-season prep for the competition I'm going to be doing. So far so good. First week went great. Not too much of a change that I had to make other than drinking less wine, which is fine. And doing a little bit of different workouts, which I'm really enjoying. I love strength training, so that's going well. I think the thing that has me most freaked out right now is that I realize that on stage you have to wear stilettos, and I'm just not really a stiletto girl. So I'm going to have to start practicing that like now and see if I can get that happening, because those are tricky to walk on. I actually looked up some YouTube videos just to see if there were instructions, and there were, and there's a whole thing to it. They even suggest stretching before you start. So I don't know, any shoes that you have to stretch before walking around in just seems like they're not very good. But oh well, I'll give it a try. Let's see, this is really slow. I'm at home, so the Wi-Fi is kind of crappy. Hey Ryan, how's it going? Let's see. Holy cow, it's this slow. Anyway, I don't know if it's going to let me share it. Alright, I'll just share it later. Oh well, no problem. So, wanted to talk a little bit about heart health today. And I don't know if you knew, but heart disease is the #1 killer in North America, which is really kind of scary. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of your heart. The good news is that it's nearly 95% preventable, and I'm talking about individuals that aren't born with heart issues. So I'm talking about regular, kind of healthy people. So if you're worried about heart disease, there are things that you can do to help prevent that. So that's good for sure. 3 things that you really need to kind of keep in check and you want to monitor as well is nutrition, blood sugar level, and exercise, of course. Hold on a second here. So, nutrition. So what you eat and what you don't eat directly impacts your cardiovascular health. So the blood vessels in your heart have a cell lining called the endothelium, and these endothelial cells actually produce nitric oxide. So nitric oxide, if you don't know, it causes your blood vessels to enlarge, which increases the flow of blood through the vessels, and it also allows for the blood to flow more easily. So this prevents the cells from becoming sticky and forming plaques, which can lead to hardening of the arteries and high blood pressure and heart attack. So in order to keep the endothelial cells healthy, you want to eat a lot of leafy greens for one thing, because they are high in the amino acid L-arginine, and L-arginine is actually a building block of nitric oxide. You might also want to consider supplementing with supplements that support heart health, and you can Google that to find a list, or you can go to my blog and click on the link that I found. So, blood sugar level, that's the other thing that you want to keep track of and keep under check. So blood sugar is just a measure of how much glucose is circulating in your bloodstream. And things such as simple carbohydrates can really increase your blood sugar quite a bit. So you want to kind of stay away from those. And the higher your average blood sugar, the thicker the walls of your heart become. So when these walls become thick, what happens is your heart is unable to fill properly with blood, and this is called diastolic heart failure. So, you know, pretty serious stuff. That's why eating a high sugar diet can lead to heart issues. It also causes, the high blood sugar also causes plaque to build up inside of your arteries, causing them to become stiff and not able to dilate properly. So now your heart's having to work harder to pump blood. And this is what actually is what high blood pressure is. So don't think that it's just a high-fat diet that can affect your heart, because I would say it's the high sugar that's made heart disease #1 killer right now in North America. So the good news about that is it is pretty easy to keep your blood glucose levels in check, assuming that you're regular healthy individual. So by focusing on lean proteins, lots of vegetables, some fruit, not a whole lot of fruit, and also nuts. You want to limit or avoid sugar. And refined flours, and also processed foods. You want to stay away from those. Hey Vera, how's it going? Ryan, red wine helps expand your blood vessels and arteries. It's science. Yes, it is. Yay, red wine. I'm totally on board with that. Yeah, that's good news about the red wine. Unfortunately, I still don't get to have it in my off-season and on-season training. So you'll need to exercise as well to keep your blood sugar in check, and not a surprising thing coming from me. I'm always pushing the exercise because it's good for you. And with exercise, you want to do some high intensity type exercise. And what that does is it helps to clear the sugar out of your bloodstream and shuttle it into the muscle cells where it will be used for energy. So you want to make sure you're getting in your exercise. The other thing with exercise is, keeping your weight under control is so important because being overweight definitely puts you at a higher risk for heart disease. When you're carrying around excess fat, your heart has to work quite a bit harder in order to pump blood through your body, and it actually enlarges, and when it enlarges, it becomes less efficient. So keeping that in mind, if you do have excess weight to lose, that would be a really good motivator right there to lose that weight. And for exercise, I think most people recognize that you need cardio in order to strengthen your heart. Makes sense, and it's true. But you also need some strength training as well. And what strength training does is it builds muscle. And when you have more muscle, you're going to burn more calories, and you're going to lose some fat because you're burning more calories. So it just kind of helps to keep your body at a healthy level of muscle, as opposed to having too much fat on your body, which will tax your heart. So if weight loss is something that you are struggling with and you need a program, I can help you with that. So feel free to ask me for some help. And I've struggled with my weight, so I know what it's all about. I understand the frustration with it. So a good workout program is going to include cardio and strength. And that was one of the main things behind my choices of classes to run at my studio, was that I wanted to provide workouts that took into account everything. That's where the name kind of comes from, too. Holy Fit, as in holy fit. So, so including the cardio and the strength and flexibility, of course, in each of the workouts that I do. That was a really important thing for me to include, because personally I know how important having all of it is. I used to be a cardio queen, and that didn't work out so good. And then just doing weights, not so good. Doing both together, perfect. So luckily, you do have some choices. As I said, I'm talking about your typical healthy person. If you are born with a heart issue or it runs in your family, then that's kind of a different story. But for the majority of people, it's up to the choices that you make as to how healthy your heart is. So making those good nutritional choices, making the choice to exercise, it is a choice, and there's ways to get around it. If you can't leave your house and go to the gym and go work out, you can work out at home. There's lots of programs. I have programs that you can use. They're by a company that I truly believe in, and I love their workouts. I do their workouts all the time. And you can do them at home very easily in a very small space, and they're like 30 minutes each. So you can fit it in, and as I've said before, if you haven't heard me say before, you don't have to do it all in one go. You can split your workouts up into chunks of time. So you could do 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, wherever you can fit it in. And it'll add up. You'll still get the benefits of that. So don't feel like you need to spend a ton of time working out. And really, it's they're finding that it's actually more beneficial to do shorter workouts, work a little more intense, but do shorter workouts. And it's actually more beneficial than doing those big, long workouts at the steady state. So if you need help with that, remember, you can always ask me. I'm happy to help you. If you need some guidance with your nutrition, that's another thing I can help you with. So please feel free to reach out and ask me anything you want. You can send me a message. I'm going to share this on my personal page. I tried to do that, but my computer is just not, it's not doing what I want it to do. But I will share that so that you guys can check it out there. And also my blog. You can always go to holyfit.ca and check out my blog. So I got a jet because I need to go and teach another class and I got to get back to the studio. So have an awesome afternoon and evening, and I'll talk to you again soon.